In the Age of Chaos, two factions battled for dominance. The kingdom of Azeroth was a prosperous one. The humans who dwelled there turned the land into a paradise. The Knights of Stormwind and the clerics of Norsha Abbey roamed far and wide, serving the king's people with honor and justice. The well-trained armies of the king maintained a lasting peace for many generations. Then came the Orcish hordes. No one knew where these creatures came from, and none were prepared for the terror that they spawned. Their warriors wielded axe and spear with deadly proficiency, while others rode dark wolves as black as the moonless night. Unimagined were the destructive powers of their evil magics, derived from the fires of the underworld. With an ingenious arsenal of weaponry and powerful magic, these two forces collide in a contest of cunning, intellect, and brute strength, with the victor claiming dominance over the whole of Azeroth. Welcome to the world of WarCraft.
That's right, folks. For today's long play, we're doing WarCraft. The first one. Orcs and Humans. So we can either play the introduction again, load a game, or get cracking. And I think we should get cracking. Start a new game. And there's the theme kicking in. Beautiful. So, we have a choice between modem game, network game, or direct link game. In fact, I don't think this is the main theme. But whatever. We'll not quibble over it. And you can already see this was revolutionary at the time. 1994. Hey, let's play some multiplayer. Single player is what we want. Now, do we want to be the goody two-shoes humans, or do we want to be the evil orcs? Let's be the orcs.
Black Cat has assigned you to an outpost in the swamps of sorrow. Your task is simple enough that even the war chief feels that you are capable of it. Construct at least 6 farms so that we may keep our troops well fed and ready to do battle. Only a fool would leave his treasures unguarded, so you must also build a barracks for the defense of these farms.
Seems simple enough, right? Fully voiced description telling us where to go, what to do, and we are here. So, we need to build 6 farms and a barracks. And already, you have the standard sort of RTS screen. It's basically, like I said, I did a Get Off My Lawn review of this. It's basically Dune 2, but with a different skin. And the beautiful music is being played through an SGM sound font, in case you're wondering. So we can click to select our peon, and we'll tell him to build a basic structure. And there you can see the cost in the corner for the farm. It's 300 and 500 gold. So let's do that. Let's build it somewhere. There. Now we'll select our grunts. And I have the WarCraft mouse helper enabled, which means that I have the ability to select at will with the left mouse button and tell them to move with the right mouse button. Before we go any further, we'll go to options and we'll change the game speed to fast. And you'll see, by the standards of normal RTS, it's pretty slow, you know. And the scroll wheel scrolls up and down for us, which is nice. That's a mouse helper thing as well. Let's train a peon from our town hall. So you've got a town hall, which trains your peons, and then you've got farms, which allow you to train more units. Simple enough. You've got a gold mine to get more gold, and you can order peons to go into the gold mine and get the gold for you. Very simple stuff. Then you've got your grunts. They're there to attack and defend, and scout out the map, I guess, very slowly. You've got your lumber, which is over there. You can order your peon to go over and harvest that. And we'll continue scouting with our grunts until we come across the hated enemy. let's have a look at our menu options, shall we? You save, load, restart, continue, quit. You can turn down the music volume a little bit if we want. Let's do that slightly, and turn up the sound effects. So you can get a sort of nice mix. I still think, yeah, it's fine. It'll do. I'm just trying to compensate for the sound font, you know? Let's turn that down to 65 and that up to 90. There we are. That's a bit better, you know? You don't want to have music blaring the whole time. Oh, we're being attacked. And that archer will not last long against those axes. But one of our grunts is injured, as you can see by his hit points. You can't actually sort of look at the number of hit points he has, but it does give you a sort of almost like a temperature thing, and it changes colour as it goes along. So as we can see here, we've scouted out another gold mine, which will be useful because that gold mine only has 2,100 in it. We'll train another peon, but as you'll note, there's no queuing of units, so I can't train another peon while training the first one. So I just have to wait. That's very antiquated. And you'll also note there's no fog of war either. Anywhere I've explored in the map, I can now see. So, it's just, the first level is essentially familiarizing yourself with the operation. You know, how to gather stuff, how to wander across a map, and generally how to play the game. You know, it's not giving you a crazy tutorial and saying, hey, in order to do this, please click this, like StarCraft would. It's more, you know, of its time, I guess, in that there'd be a manual, and the manual would describe what was happening, and what to do, and how to play. And obviously I've completed this game several times, so I don't need a manual, but I will sort of be describing what I'm doing in obsessive detail, so that everyone who doesn't play RTS games or hates RTS games, I know some of you hate RTS games, so an idea, you know, the idea of watching an hour of this must be like, oh my word, why would he subject me to this? Because I know there are some of you out there who watch every single one of these, whether you like the game or not. Credit to you. I hope I'm entertaining enough to sort of make up for the fact that what you're watching is just like it's pretty dry viewing, you know. So, you know, I was pondering to myself whether I should select WarCraft, and there goes our gold mine right on time. And you'll see the peons have just sort of sat there and they're like, what do we do, boss? So I select them, send them down there. Not enough food, build more farms. So we'll take you, and we'll use some of that hard-earned cash and lumber to build another farm. And while we're doing that, we'll do our multitasking, which is sending the grunts out to explore. We can make this even faster if we want, and for the purposes of this level, I'm not sure I'll do it for all levels. I might. Faster. Let's see. That's more the pace you want to be at, but as you can see here, the AI isn't great. So, if I had ordered him to move, he would have just kept moving. I immediately stopped him and was like, yeah, there's a footman trying to end you. You're gonna need to deal with that first. And this is one of the things about the early AI of an RTS game. You gotta keep in mind, the first one of these came out like 2 years maybe before, so it was it was very new territory, you know? And to get so much right so quickly was one of the fortes of early Blizzard. You know, they'd take an idea that had previously been done. I wouldn't call them plagiarizers, just, you know, they have innovated in other ways. But they'd take an idea that had already been done in Dune 2, and much like Heretic was like a fantasy version of Doom, this, instead of having the Dune license, is an original property. And what a property it is now, huh? Everyone knows what WarCraft is. Even my dad knows what WarCraft is. Well, to be fair to my dad, he played World of Warcraft. So, of course he'd know what it was. Sorry, Dad. Let's see. We need another peon on lumber, I think. But we'll construct one more farm. And this is a thing here as well. You'll see this. You can't just construct buildings willy-nilly in WarCraft. There's paths that you need to construct in order to enable buildings to be constructed on them. So you can just, if it's adjacent to a path, you can just about get it. So barracks needs 500 lumber and 600 gold. So we'll send you off to the trees. We'll send these boys off this direction, I guess. And that should be the first level. And here is what I'm talking about with regards to AI. Like, yeah, you see, he didn't react quickly enough. He's in trouble. He's dead. And we're in trouble. We're in big trouble because that archer is coming our way. And this is something we haven't foreseen. We didn't have enough to take out that archer. So we need to quickly build that. But we can't. Oh no! We're in trouble! Fortunately, we were able to get a peon in there. Whew, that was a close one. We nearly lost the first level. Well, so much for it not being interesting, eh? So, we wait for that barracks. We use our peons as bait for the archer. And we'll let him sort of fire away at farms and stuff. Hey, you know what? We're victorious anyway, because it was 5 farms in a barracks or 6 farms in a barracks, wasn't it? I went to build that barracks in order to protect against the archer, which I'd miscalculated on because of the poor AI. And turns out I won the level because I had constructed the right thing. So I'll just...
upon the destruction you have wrought and the broken bodies of your enemies.
Very nice. So yeah, those broken bodies of enemies, yeah, that archer was just, you know, using my entire base for target practice. And I basically said, yeah, it's good enough, and left them to it. Sure, you're being shot at, but it's fine.
Like the stinging of a wasp, the attacks from the humans grow more and more bothersome. You have been assigned to a small outpost on the borderlands of the Swamps of Sorrow. You are to defend our lands from the incursions of these ravenous dogs by crushing any opposition that you encounter.
Okay. Sounds like a plan to me, doesn't it? So we're on to the next map. The Swamps of Sorrow. I guess we better get going. Maybe I should train another peon. What do you think? Yeah. This is a spearman. He moves slightly quicker. He's the orcish equivalent to the archer. And he will help scout out a gold mine for us, because unlike most modern RTSs, which are just like, yep, there's your gold mine, sometimes in WarCraft, it won't show you where your gold mine is. there it is. So we'll send our 2 peons off to the gold mines, because we'll need 100 more for another peon. But we need food, so we'll take him and we shall construct our farm with the gold we've harvested. Simple enough stuff. So now it's a case of waiting until we have enough gold to train another peon after this one has been constructed. And you'll look here, this has a bit more gold than the previous one, I believe. So we will send you to harvest the lumber and train another peon. Get these guys out here with our grunt. And the goal is to kill everybody, I believe. If we go to menu, see, in WarCraft 2, it would tell you what your scenario objectives were. In WarCraft, it's like, what, you weren't listening? They couldn't have predicted in 1994 that nobody would have any attention span. Oh, humans, look, he's trying to attack our base. We can't have that. So a random footman just turned up. I was like, I'm going to trash your base. That's unacceptable. He came from the south. Maybe we should scout out that area a little bit. You, get over there. Look at the grunt's sight compared to the... Notice the way he has sort of a standard sight, and then when he stops, his sight actually improves, which makes him a very useful scout. And because of the lack of fog of war, like I mentioned, that also means that anything we scout stays scouted. Let's construct a barracks. It'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Now, in later RTS games, it shows you your food, like your supply, but we don't have that, so we have to click on a farm each time that we want a sort of information about that. So we've grown 9 and used 7 of that. Work is complete, but you'll note we've got a spearman down there, but we can't train a spearman. And the obvious reason for that is that we need another building. The other building is a lumber mill. Unfortunately, we cannot... Hey! The pale dogs! What are you doing to my barracks? Well, we just can't have that, can we? And you are not in good health. You're like me earlier this year, barely any hit points. So that sort of came from the east that time. Intriguing. Now you'll note we have way too much gold and not much lumber. And I'll show you the path building that we've got as well, which will be useful. So we've got a surplus of gold, but not enough lumber. We can fix that. We can fix that. You go mine some lumber, and then you can build roads for gold. And because we have a surplus of gold, we will just stretch out our road. It's sort of a holdover from city building, really. You know, it's like it's almost sort of SimCity inspired in a way. And you've got to remember, like, those sort of games weren't that old when this came out. Uh-oh. Get back. Get back, get back, get back. You. Out there. Whew. Spearmen are good at distance, but if that footman had closed the distance, he was a dead man, or a dead orc. So we've plenty of gold, and we've a bit of lumber now, so we'll take one of these boys and build a lumber mill. Now, in the second game, as I pointed out in my WarCraft review, which came out last year, you had the option to build a lumber mill near the lumber, and then they could take the lumber back to it. You can't do that in this one, for whatever reason. Maybe they just hadn't thought of it, I don't know. But we're going to run out of gold in that mine fairly soon, I think, yes. So you'll see constructed and spear strength. That's an upgrade we want. That'll make our spear stronger. And I have a plan here. And you'll see we're able to train spearmen. That's something we want to do a lot of. But we'll need another farm. So I'm going to take one of my gold miners. Let's just pick one that doesn't have a sack. Oh, too slow. That's another thing. If you're not quick enough off the mark, they'll just carry on with what they're doing, you know. So we need farms. We're building a farm. Problem solved. So our resources are slowly going up, but we can't do much with them without that farm in place. Hey, we don't want you there. He's nice bait, isn't he? And you can hear the warnings, like the pale dogs approach, the humans draw near, stuff like that. You know, we're upgrading our weaponry again. So sorry about using you for bait there, peon. I mean, I'm not really sorry. You got the job done. But they appeared from all directions there. I think that may be a scripted element. If you're taking too long, I'm a notorious turtler, which means I will sit and I will build buildings and focus on economy and not venture out like I should be doing. And the game is probably... I might be giving it too much credit here. I don't think I am. But the game is sort of saying to me, James, what are you doing? Why are you sat in the base? And it will send a little sortie out of like a footman or an archer or whatever. Just to pester me. And when they have a base in place, that will become more common because they'll train units. So we select some units, and you'll note, you've probably seen it already, you can only select 4 at a time. The pale dogs approach. That's not good. Why are you wrecking our farm? That is not what we wanted. Now, these fully upgraded spearmen made short work of him. That's right. A fully upgraded squadron of spearmen. That's worth its weight in gold. So we've grown 21, used 12. I think we can build another barracks. You. Build a second barracks. So. That grunt's kind of superfluous, isn't he? So we need more gold. That upgrade was costly, you see. It was increasingly costly. That combined with the barracks. And you'll see full repairs will cost 14 golden lumber. We're not going to use that right now. I mean, I don't foresee another attack, you know, seriously damaging us. So, we don't have enough gold after our upgrades to really do this sort of multiple training. There we are. We've got 2 barracks, both going, but we've run into a problem. I think you could see the problem immediately. It's the same problem as last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my peons focus on that, and I'm going to send out a group to survey the area. You guys can go that way. And you know what, I'll be nice to you. You and you can stay in the base. Just in case we get attacked. A grunt with like no hit points and 1 random spearman. Oh! An archer. So like for like. Except we're upgraded and he's not. And we found our gold mine. So we're doing okay for lumber. I'll let them just mine that. You, come here. Get some gold. And I'm sure RTS veterans are looking at me and being like, he's really slow and he's bad at multitasking and so on. This long play is laid back. You know, if I really wanted to do this sort of clicks per minute carry on, then I would. I'm not particularly good at RTS games. I enjoy playing them. There's a difference between, you know, being good at a game and enjoying it. For me, RTS games, I don't like the competitive aspect. You know, having a fun multiplayer with your friends, you know, as they call it, a comp stomp, can be great. Oh, this should be good. Right, Grunt? You've had your fun. Hey! Where he went after the peon. He went after that random peon, completely ignored my Grunt, who was dying. All he needed to do was tap him. You know? And that would have been the end of him. Oh. And you can see here, hit points going way down there. And those guys not responding to the attack that was going on because it was sort of out of their range of influence. And you can see how squishy these guys really are. So they're good at attacking, not so good at the defensive stuff. Oh, they're in trouble now. Just about survived that. I think I'm going to sweep these guys down to meet them. That's probably a bad move, but whatever. And then I'll train up 2 more guys and send those 4 out as well. Just to sweep the area and clear it of any human influence. There's one there. Uh-oh. Grunt, this could be the end for you. Ready? Oh, there he goes. You were a good distraction, son. You were a good distraction. But where are those pale dogs approaching from is the question. And this is one of the downsides of early RTS games. A computer wouldn't just give up, you know, and it would also be a case of pixel hunting. You know, we'd have to search the entire map for every last human in the hopes of finding them, and I'm not particularly good at pixel hunting. I think they're probably up here. Probably. Let's have a look. I've already taken longer on this level than I thought I would. Found another gold mine. So that's 3 now. Very generous of the game. So they're not in the trees. So they're either down here, up there, or somewhere around there. And this is where my lack of previous exploring... Oh! Massive attacks everywhere. And that's some good AI. He's just sat there getting shot. That might be the end of it, you know. That might have been the last 2. We shall see. I guess not. And now you can see the sort of multitasking that's going on, where I am selecting multiple units in multiple groups. Oh! They're attacking something. Oh, right, it's a gold mine. See, because I clicked there, and because it wasn't actually a piece of ground, they were like, yeah, let's attack it. Which is entirely pointless, you know, but whatever makes them happy. So there's nothing down there. I guess we'll head up here. And this is the bit they don't tell you about in RTS games. You know, the pointless searching. Doesn't appear to be anything up there either. So they'll go around there. And this guy will come over here. And this is the micromanagement that people talk about so much. They're controlling multiple little groups and just babysitting everything. And later RTS games would get more of a grip on this. Which is why lots of people like the idea of remaking campaign. Oh! Hey! That is not an amicable situation. Is he the last one though? Well, he's certainly dead now. Boom! Victory. So that's the sort of more tedious aspect of the game.
The bones crunching beneath your feet is confirmation of your awesome victory.
So we had to kill 20 of them, which is quite a big ask, you know, especially for new players, you know. But we did it, and with a lesser force.
The humans are growing strong in Grand Hamlet. An outpost will be placed under your dictatorship to use as you see fit. You must then prepare and lead a force to destroy Grand Hamlet and all that dwell there. Blackhand will brook no survivors. These humans must be taught a hard lesson in the ways of humility.
They must indeed. So, we've graduated from learning the basics, to killing the enemy, to let's destroy the enemy's base. So rather than a series of random enemies across the map, we now, and you'll note we're not in the swamp anymore, the palette has changed, which is nice. Sort of adds a bit of variety. Let's discover our gold mine, shall we? Wherever it is. Yeah, that's something early Blizzard were very good at. I don't know what they're like these days. I don't really play their games anymore, sad as it sounds. But early Blizzard were very good at differentiating things through design. Their colourful graphics, their clever musical scores. There's our gold mine. So, we'll set those boys to work immediately. And we'll train one up. How are we doing? Grown 9, use 7. So, you'll notice that there's a river here. So if we follow that river round to its natural conclusion, we'll find a bridge. So we'll take these boys over to the bridge, and we'll post a grunt here. And yeah, that should be okay. So we've got an initial sortie of peons. Now you'll wonder, why is he guarding this bridge? Because there may be an early attack from the humans, and we're not ready for that yet. We're not ready at all. So we're gonna have these guys sort of harvest some resources, allow us to build more farms, the barracks and stuff, and from there we can train up a troop to really take the fight to these orcs, to these humans. Sorry, slip of the tongue. Totally on the orc side here. Right, I'll place these guys here. There we go. Told you. That's a foregone conclusion, by the way. Yes, you have every right to laugh. I'll bring a spearman down to sort of keep that position safe. And I'll build another farm, I think. But not if I don't have enough gold. The second game would overhaul the price of everything and so on, and make it a bit easier for you, the start of the game. Everything is quite pricey. And that's okay. You know, you just have to watch your resources. Need to train some peons as well. So we're growing at 13, used 9. I think we need to get more gold to train more peons. Uh-oh. There's the archer across the river. No match for 2 grunts. Spearman didn't join in though, as you can see, because it was outside of his sphere of interest. He was just like, what? Somebody's dying? Why do I care? It's not near enough to me, you know? And as you saw on the previous map, a spearman was actually getting attacked by an archer, which had better range than he did, and it wasn't responding. It was like, well, I'm not in range, I'm surrounded by trees, what am I meant to do? That's the AI issue, so to speak. So we're getting a steady supply of gold now, and that will allow us to construct a barracks once we get another peon up for lumber. We've only got the one guy at the minute. You know, with this mouse helper, which you can find on PC Gaming Wiki, which is a great wee site which helps sort of configure games and, you know, oh. Yep, you're not going to last long. Thank you. Yeah, it's a PC Gaming Wiki is a great resource. It came about in the last few years where it's just a sort of wiki which provides a pile of patches, gameplay upgrades, bits and pieces like that. And the mouse helper, I can't remember who did it, but I already credited them in my review, said brilliant job, well done. It really makes life a lot easier. Sure, there's a lot of things that this RTS doesn't have that were implemented at a later date, but the ability to just do that without holding control in order to do it, and the ability to right click and have him contextually do things, it's an absolute godsend, you know. He made one, he or she, sorry, made one for Dune 2, which was also very good, but I feel Dune 2, on account of being, you know, 2 years older, hasn't quite aged as well. Fortunately, Dune 2 has some source ports. They're not amazing. They're okay. I have issues with the AI in them, but they modernise the game a lot more than this one can be. I'm absolutely shocked that nobody's made a decent source port of the original WarCraft. We have Wargus for WarCraft 2. It's excellent, but we don't have a decent one for WarCraft 1. We have something called Warwungus, which is like a fan attempt, and it's not quite right. So hopefully somebody will come along someday and just be like, either, you know, I wouldn't trust Blizzard in its current state to remaster this. I'd rather some fan came along and just, you know, gave it the quality of life that it needed, widescreen support and various bits and bobs, like other fans have done to Dune 2. And because the WarCraft name is too big to have a game like this just... Oh, Archer versus Grunt. I think we'll know what will happen there. Down you go. And we'll move them back. So, he is weathered the storm and is not doing so well. So, we'll get another guy on lumber. Running out of gold. We need to get out there and explore. I guess we can train a grunt to help do that. One for the bridge and one for the exploration team. And we'll train up another peon. Slow and steady wins the race with this one, you know? There's no need for a fast and furious click fest, as I said. And we'll train one for the bridge. I love that sound. Multiple units cutting lumber. It has this lovely sort of staccato rhythm to it. I think that's the right term. Let's see. We need more lumber, yes. And you onto the bridge there. Right, we'll take this party out. And we'll find ourselves another gold mine. Hopefully. I seem to remember in this level in particular, I was searching and searching and searching for a gold mine and couldn't find one. We'll use the spearman's extra sight, and we'll use the grunts to sort of protect him. I have a funny feeling we're going to run into opposition before, you know, we're able to secure the gold mine. That's generally how it's done. I mean, there were other gold mines in the previous level that were sort of unprotected. Right, there's another bridge, and there's some enemies. Enemies plural. Should be able to... Uh-oh. Right. He came from the north. And our spearman took some severe damage there. So we'll train another grunt. And there was an attack there as well. And the gold mine is gone. So, obviously there's a degree of urgency now. Because we've got to keep the gold going, you know? But the question is, where is that gold mine? I'm gonna take that other spearman down with this guy. I don't think it's across the bridge. Obviously it's not there. It's just... there it is. Right. So we have a bunch of peons not knowing what to do with themselves. And we'll send them down to that gold mine. It looks like we caught the attention of whoever was guarding that when we were travelling down here. And they must have spotted us and been like, right, okay. Dig in, boys. I'm fairly sure I said that before in the review, but anyway, that means our gold gathering will be less effective, but that's not an issue for me because we'll construct a lumber mill up there, allowing us to train spearmen, and furthermore, we'll build a second barracks. Yes, yes. Oh, severe attack there. Fortunately, it's only archers. And they're kind of squishy. So they're still holding that bridge quite effectively, as our lumber mill and barracks are being built. We see the whole sort of pincer-like movement where we're holding on two separate fronts. Okay, with that work complete, we'll focus these guys on lumber. I think gold's okay. And we will train multiple spearmen. I find spearmen are more, effective in terms of sighting and attacking units in groups than grunts are. Because as a spearman, you don't have to get up close to the enemy in order to launch your spear away. Whilst if you have multiple grunts, they all try and sort of pile on. And I guess you could say, if you really loved your grunts and you liked the concept of grunts piling on, you'd have to construct additional pylons. Haha! Anyway, moving swiftly on from that. I'm going to attack from the south. I'm going to hold the bridge at the north with the grunts. And I'm going to attack from the south with a series of spearmen. Right, you guys go down there. They're also slightly swifter than grunts, which is nice. Now, I can afford that upgrade, but it means I'll just... oh wait, there's some guys. Again, all the lumber's done there. They didn't have enough initiative to sort of say, hey, we'll go to the next closest lumber. That's something that modern RTS has improved on. The whole unit responsiveness. We don't have enough to train from a second barracks. So send those guys down there. Yep, everything's okay on the bridge. You get back there. Oh, both those grunts are a bit suspect. I'll wait till some guys come back with gold. You down there. Oh, massive hit of gold there. And lumber. With more lumber than we know what to do with, actually. You. Never mind lumber. You'll notice as well, so here's your basic functions. I should have shown them earlier, but you've got move, stop, repair, harvest, build basic structure. You've also got advanced structure. And that allows us to train a necrolite. If you really want to know what they're like and what they do, you're desperate to learn about necrolites, then by all means check out my review of the game, because I will not be using them in this. No, no, no. I am not a necrolite man. There we go. Pincushion time. There we are. They did not last. This archer, on the other hand, might do a little better. Or not. So, we have some resources now. So we'll train up 2 more spearmen. Those guys on the bridge are doing okay. And we'll just edge forward. bit by bit, piece by piece. We slowly creep forward. Because we know that they're on the other side of the bridge somewhere. And there's also some degree of path. There we are. Oh my word, that's a lot of footmen. Back, back, back. That's a lot of units, which means we're close. Aha! And there is their town. Show us the town. There we are. And the good thing with spearmen is that they will attack the units. So if peasants try and come over and cause problems, we could just keep shooting at them. So from the north, we'll head over this way. I'm worried that there may be some footmen, and I don't want to sort of take my eyes off this too long. Yep, there you go. You notice something? His hit points, they're going up, briefly. That's because there's a pile of mages healing him somewhere. Like you. Unfortunately, they don't fare very well against axes. I mean, it was enough to take out most of my grunt. You know, I'll send him down. Oh, there's another one. Let's just hit you. As you can see, that cleric's not doing much damage. Let's head over the bridge. We're fairly taking them out at this point. We could have trained more units, made it more efficient, blah blah blah, but the game is very, very forgiving. It's given us a path directly to the place in question. So all we need to do now is take out all the other buildings. Simple stuff. Down goes the barracks. Take out that church. Get off my lawn. Does not endorse church burnings. Down goes the farm. It's pretty self-explanatory really at this point, you know. They want everything destroyed? We can do that. Down it goes. Victory.
Gaze upon the destruction you have wrought and the broken bodies of your enemies.
Now you'll also note that the enemy units destroyed section, look at that. We killed twice as many as the last mission. So there was a real sort of, it's not so much a gentle increase as a steady increase. And more modern games, you know, they're like, they're very handholdy because
you are wakened from your night's sleep by a runner from the war chief. Blackhand's daughter Griselda has run off with the outlaw Tudok's band of ogres. Our wolf riders have tracked them to the dungeons hidden beneath the dead mines. Find Tudok's band of rebellious pigs and kill them all, including Griselda. She must not disobey the commands of her father, ever again.
Now this is a little different, but I'll finish my run-on sentence first. Modern games. There are so many games and so many quick dopamine hit games that games are terrified of commitment. If it takes a while to get into, if there's not an immediate sort of hit, so to speak, and especially if a game is difficult to begin with, it discourages people much quicker than it used to. So if you had got to the 3rd level of WarCraft and had been beaten, you'd just throw it away. But back in the day, you wouldn't have. You'd have persevered. This guy's new. He's a raider. He's got a mounted wolf that the humans were babbling on about in the opening cinematic. And he can just wander around and hit people with that big old sword. And you'll note at the top, there's no lumber and there's no gold. And there's also no buildings. What we have is what's left. There's going to be no reinforcements. And these guys are necrolytes. They have magic, as you can see here, and that slowly regenerates over time. They have the ability to attack, but you wouldn't want them to because they're useless at that. And they also have the ability to raise the dead. If there's a dead corpse, you select it, and well, you cast Raise Dead on it, and it comes back as a temporary skeleton. Now, in the previous playthrough I went right. I think I'm going to go left this time. And I'm going to send these guys out. And I'll most likely lose this level because of the limited resources. Oh, there's an ogre. And I've already lost a unit. You! Raise Dead. Go on. He's also abominably slow. And there we have a skeleton. We have raised the dead. Look at him go. He doesn't actually have a voice, so it's just a clicking sound whenever you... But you also see he has magic. Because he's been summoned, he has a limited amount of time, so we'll not use him for exploratory purposes, we'll send him this way. And you guys can also go that way as well. I sense I'm probably going to run out of time here. Yeah, I'll probably run out of time before I lose the level, so that's good. Save me any blushes. What the... Oh! I accidentally hit one of the grunts, and it was defaulting to attack. So I just killed one of my own men. Well done, James. Well done. Let's send these boys out. I'll show you the downside to skeletons now. Right, la-di-da-di-da. Coming along nicely. You should be, yeah, running out of magic. Let's stay summoned for a little while. Right. Go, skeletons! Fight and win and... Come on! Take him out! You can not do it. They're hideously weak. So we'll send out here we guys, and we do not want him there. Whoa, we got lucky. We got very lucky there. Because those squishy guys should be arranged in a different fashion. You should always have your heavy hitters up front, followed by your spearmen. But I don't bother with that, and I find it quite cumbersome to control, you know, by modern standards. But that's to be expected since it was probably the second one of these ever, you know, in the genre, so you can cut it a little bit of slack in that respect. I'm probably going the wrong way as well, but that's okay. Let's all pile on to the left. We're all in. And later on, you know, the voices would have more personality. You know, they'd be more comedic and stuff. But in this, it's very not dry. Just oh no, we've got some slime, so we are gonna kite that slime, as in convince it to go up, and that way we can utilize the spearmen to some degree. Oh, the slime. Isn't this exciting? Down you go, slime. Let's see what damage is done. They're a little worse for wear, but they're not too bad. So yes, this is different than your standard game because there's no resources, and the resources that you do have are limited in terms of personnel. So this whole sitting around with a slime business, not great. Not what you want. I'm probably doing it wrong. As the slime slowly whittles away the hit points of my raiders. There was probably a middle path, wasn't there? Yeah, where you could avoid the slime. Oh well. Right, that's dealt with noisily. Spearman, give us a bit of a look. Right, should we go south? I'm not sure we should. And this was very much trial and error back in the day, you know. They had similar levels in StarCraft, not so much WarCraft 2 to my knowledge, I might be wrong about that, where you'd have a group of people. Yes, I think we'll go this way. I don't think we'll bother with that bit. We should have gone down the middle in the first place, you know. You also can't select by type, so if I want those wolf raiders out front, previous RTSs you just double clicked and it would select all of that type. Sorry, more modern RTSs, not previous. So, is this where we want to be is the question. Go you there, have a little look. Oh. Well, he bit the bucket. Kicked the bucket or bit the dust, not bit the bucket. And I pointed this out before, but this little sort of design and stuff, this sort of top-down area, it's very reminiscent, and that's a dead end. So I guess that wasn't where we wanted to go. Oh well. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Lord of the Rings, which will be the second game I'll be long playing this week, because I said I'd play 2. So you'll get a bonus one tomorrow. Isn't that fun? Yeah. I think Blizzard were influenced by Lord of the Rings because they had to port it. Back when they were called Silicon and Synapse, they had to port it to another system. And I think the art design gave them ideas, and the fantasy theme. I'm just using these guys to scout for... Oh, no, back. Oh, I've lost one. And I lost another one. I'm running out of people. And this is where my conservatism with units is just not rewarded. Again, did I need to go down there? Probably not. So that was a trap. This is also a trap. Admiral Akbar would be shaking his head at me, you know, in disappointment. You know, kind of like everyone else does. And I'm not using these necrolytes at all because I just don't rate them at all. There's probably going to be somebody in the comments at some point say, but necrolytes are extra good against slime or something. Yeah, I'd probably find that out eventually if I bothered using them, but nope. And here we have a sort of degree of tedium as well, because it's sort of steady controlling and advancement of units that you don't really get in the modern ones. Uh-oh, problem. Took him out. But yeah, I'm probably going to run out of time soon. Not that I'm not enjoying myself, I am, which is nice, you know, that you can come back to a game at this age and this antiquity as well, and still enjoy it. But as I said in my StarCraft review, I did a StarCraft review as well, by the way. These sort of games, there we go, there's the timer. These sort of games, these sort of levels rather, are my least favourite. So I'm going to quit out of this. And there's the actual main menu music. So it's of its time. There's no denying that. Even with the mouse help, and even with, you know, the GOG.com re-release and so on, it's a sort of... Oh, that's not what we wanted. It's still a pale shadow of, you know, what would come later. That's to be expected, I guess, because of its age, you know. But, you know, it's a good game, and still worth a play, you know, even after all these years. And I hope you enjoyed me sort of clicking through.
Age of Chaos.
So, I'm gonna leave it there. WarCraft. It's still fun.